What's up, guys? It's December! And you know what that means? At least for my channel? It means that you're gonna get 2 Mass Effect talks a week. One of them is gonna be the ones that I'm already making, like the races, and the other one is going to be what you guys choose. Whatever you guys want to see. I already got some that I will be doing, so for the month of December, I will be doing 2. I won't be doing all of the ones that you ask for, but I will be choosing the ones that I think would make really good topics or that I could talk a lot about. So, yeah. This Mass Effect Talks is going to be about the humans. I wasn't able to upload it over the weekend, this past weekend, because of the holiday. It was just too crazy for me to start filming. And over the weekend, I believe, maybe tomorrow, maybe, I'll have the other Mass Effect Talks, which is for the wish list, the subscribers' Christmas list, is going to be on Shepard. If you guys have suggestions or for any videos or Mass Effect Talks suggestions for this subscriber Christmas list that I'm doing, go ahead and put it on my Twitter or on my Facebook, because it's easier for me to keep track of them, because I am writing them all down. If you put it in the comments, they just get lost in there and it's harder for me to find. So if you could do that, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to put those links in the description. This is probably one of the longest races episode, which is pretty surprising. I didn't think there was going to be this much. And it's all very interesting, actually. I was surprised. I was like, okay, well, what is there that we don't know about the humans? There's a lot of new things that doesn't apply to us, to this universe. So let's get this started, because this is going to be pretty long, I think. So the humans, their home world obviously is Earth. They are actually the newest species in the galactic community. By galactic community, I mean living with the other races. They've been living without the other races just for about 36 years. So they're the newest race that was introduced to the community, to the galactic community. But even though they're pretty new to the community, they are the fastest growing species. And by growing, I mean expanding. They expand the fastest out of all the races. Before I go into the expansion of the humans, I want to talk a little bit about their biology. So humans have a pretty robust physiology. When you compare it to the other races, they're kind of in between the other races, like kind of the average. They are very strong, though. They're actually comparable in strength to the Turians. They are much stronger than the Asari and much stronger than the Solarians. They're also very agile, but they're not as agile as, say, the Asari. And they're very fast, but they're not as fast as the Solarians. So they're kind of in between, but their strength does reach about the same strength level as a Turian. Because you see in Mass Effect, we've seen a human punch a Turian, and the Turian actually gets knocked over. They actually fall over. If a human wasn't strong enough and they punched a Turian, they probably would shatter their hands, their bones, and the Turian wouldn't even feel it. They wouldn't even stumble. And Shepard even headbutted a Krogan in Mass Effect 2. And they also live longer than what we live. 100 years is already pushing it. In Mass Effect, humans that can actually live up to 150 years. Medical technology has pretty much obliterated diseases that attack humans, and it's only since the humans are pretty new to the galaxy, to the community, the galactic community. It's said that they're only going to live longer, because if they already live 150 years with the technology that is out right now, could you imagine how much they'll live as technology evolves even more? Although the humans live up to 150 years old, they still do reach physical maturity at 18. It's pretty much like us. At 18, they're pretty much done with their schooling, like say high school, and they're off to join the workforce or to to focus in their careers. Another thing that makes the humans stand out, not only to the other races but also to the Reapers, is their genetics. They have the most diverse genetics out of all the species. I believe it was Morden that says that they have the most peaks and valleys. So it makes humans perfect as a control group in experiments. So the humans make a perfect specimen, not only for science, but also for the purposes that of the Reapers. The Reapers are harvesting life forms, and in this case, they're choosing the humans to reproduce. Think of Mass Effect 2 when they were turning the humans into that mush on the collector base. They're taking all of that genetic code and remaking or reproducing their cores, because that's the way that the Reapers reproduce, because they're pretty much machines. They can't reproduce in any other way. So so even though they're machines, they're also biological. So in this case, they chose the humans just because of how diverse they are in their genetics, but also because of their physical strength, their personalities, their mental capacities, and everything. They just make the best specimen. So now let me talk a little bit about the Alliance. The Alliance is pretty much the group that represents humanity as a whole. Not only their military, but also their government, everything. The Alliance is what represents the humans. Now remember that I'm going to give just a little timeline because I am going to be mentioning dates. Mass Effect 1 took place in 2183, and Mass Effect 2 was 2 years after that, so 2185. So those are the current dates, 2185. In 2148, this is before the humans were introduced into the galactic community, before they even knew that there was other species out there, that aliens actually did exist. A mining team went to Mars to investigate this Bermuda Triangle type of phenomenon. I mean, there's a lot of suspicions tied to the Bermuda Triangle, but scientifically, there is a lot of changes in magnetic fields around there. So that's what makes compasses go crazy, and navigation devices, they go berserk. Something like this was happening on Mars. They went to excavate the southern pole of Mars. This is where this whole magnetic and radiation was giving off. And what they found was subterranean ruins of a research facility of an alien race. And they were like, what? And this turned out to be the Protheans. And the more they investigated this, they found out that the Protheans, that these aliens, were actually researching humans. They had researched the earlier humans, the Cro-Magnon, like millennia ago. So this pretty much was the biggest discovery for humanity, finding this research facility, because it pretty much proved that alien life did exist. And when they found this out, when they found out that these aliens were researching very closely humans in years ago, they were like, I mean, could you imagine how they must have felt when they realized that? That must be very confusing, but also very scary to think about. So this completely changed everything. It affected the religious communities the most, because they were like, wait, what? Aliens exist? A religion came out of this that was called the Interventionary Evolutionists. They basically proclaimed the discovery as proof that all human history had been directed and controlled by alien forces. But other religions, they tried to incorporate this into their dogma, and others just they rejected it. They were like, no, it's not real. So it really shook things up. A year later, as they researched this very closely, a year later, they found out some information of a piece of technology that was hovering over Pluto. And they weren't sure what it was, because they had no idea what all of these words meant. And plus, it was in Prothean language. In the Prothean language, there's very few people that could actually decode the Prothean language. But they went they sent a team to check this out around Pluto, and what they used to think was a moon, Pluto's moon called Charon. They used to think this was a moon, but it was actually, they found out that it was a mass relay, and they were like, "What the hell is that?" And it was dormant. It hadn't been activated for years. They wanted to try to recreate it, but they couldn't. They didn't know how. But they did find a way to activate it. And so a team, if you've read the books, the Mass Effect books, there's a character that comes out in the books, especially in the first book, Revelation. This character, his name is John Grissom. He is the father of Kali Sanders, one of the main characters of the 3 books. She's a scientist. And John Grissom, he was in the military, and he led a team through the mass relay to check to see what was on the other side. And this relay, they called it the Charon relay because they used to think it was Pluto's moon, Charon. They went through the relay, and the relay actually led to the Arcturus system. In the Arcturus system, it's pretty much a red giant called Arcturus. This was the second greatest discovery for humanity, this mass relay, because this is what propelled them into the galactic community. At first, they were just, they went to Arcturus, and what they found there was this red giant, and they also found 3 other relays. So Arcturus could actually be seen from Earth. It was the 3rd brightest star in the night sky. This is where they created the Arcturus station. If you know anything about the Arcturus station, they've mentioned it a few times in Mass Effect. It's a big deal. I mean, the Arcturus station is pretty much the headquarters for the Alliance, and it's also the capital of humanity. And they put it there. It's the capital. It's the main hub because in the Arcturus system, there's 3 other relays, and one of them leads back to Earth. So it was the perfect area to put it. It's very interesting the way that the Arcturus station was made because the Arcturus system is metal poor. There's no metals. There are some elements there, but they're very light. There are no metals in the Arcturus system. So what they had to do in order to create the Arcturus system, because they needed metal, was they actually towed asteroids, like asteroids that had metal on them. They towed them through the mass relay to the Arcturus system to create the Arcturus station. Very interesting thing about the Arcturus system is that it's part of the Galactic Halo. And what this is real. This isn't just in Mass Effect universe. This is actually real. This is real science. A galactic halo is what are the stars that surround. It's like this aura of stars that surround a galactic disk. And if you've seen galaxies from afar, right? They look almost like a spiral. It's like a disk of light. If you haven't seen it, look it up in Google. You'll see it. It's like a spiral of light. Sometimes there's like an aura of light around it with stars. That's the galactic halo. The Arcturus system, the galactic disk, is the actual galaxy. That's where all the planets and the sun and all that. It's in the galactic disk. But on the outside, the galactic halo is pretty much surrounded by stars. These stars actually move. They travel. And Arcturus is actually part of the galactic halo. So it's moving through the galactic disk. So eventually, in years, like millennia, Arcturus is going to be on the other side of the galactic disk, and it's going to end up in dark space. Because it does travel. And dark space, that's where the Reapers are. That's where they hang out. Dark space is pretty much the dark space, the emptiness that lies in between galaxies. There's nothing there. Now I said that this all happens. It does happen, but when I'm talking about Arcturus, that's when I'm talking about Mass Effect. But the whole galactic halo and the galactic disk and all that, that's real.